empty. You're nothing more than a pain to me. Go check your ego at the door, cause I can't take it anymore. The fighting, the poking, the constant provoking, the way that you chat, then you act like you're joking. You smile the while like you're doing me a favor, but when I talk back, you're like, so whatever. I gave you the start, just a mind about you, busy traveling the world and breaking all those hearts, and there's no more time for little old me. Well, if that's the way it's gotta be, then go ahead and fire. You won't hit me where I'm standing now. Go ahead and fire. Try and bring me down, doesn't really matter anymore. What you say, you can have this spell. There was no war anyway. Got a wicked sense of humor, yeah, it's dark to the core, and it only makes me like you more. You don't care that I'm crazy, you don't care that I'm rude. You seem to like me better with a bad attitude. No, I don't get bored, yeah, I always have fun. I give you every second that I have under the sun. 'Cause I don't mind wasting my time if I waste it on you. No, I don't mind whatever you like, I don't care what we do. I just want one more minute, one more second in my day, chilling like a villain with my best mates. So I don't mind wasting my time if I waste it on you. Every minute's like a second, and like that we lose a day. Let me show you, make the time fly away. Every minute we're together, I just can't help but smile. I love how you have fun in your weird sense of style. No, I don't feel lost, yeah, I always feel at home. Since you came along, I know I'll never be alone. 'Cause I don't mind wasting my time if I waste it on you. No, I don't mind whatever you like, I don't care what we do. I just want one more minute, one more second in my day, chilling like a villain with my best mates. No, I don't mind wasting my time if I waste it on you. From Cornwall to Nice, from those romance, that beach, from that sunset, that jet set, these springs or gravel streets, spending all day in the sun or a late night in the pub where we get dressed up or messed up. It's you I wanna see, it's you I wanna see, it's you I wanna see. 'Cause I don't mind wasting my time if I waste it on you. I don't mind whatever you like, I don't care what we do. I just want one more minute, one more second in my day, chilling like a villain with my best mates. No, I don't mind wasting my time if I waste it on you. I'm not much of a talker, I can't seem to get the words out. It's like they get stuck somewhere between my brain and my mouth. I'm not very popular, instantly forgettable was always more my style. It's okay, just shut up and force a smile. But I come alive under stage lights, and I live for big nights. And I'm at my best with a guitar and a mic, and I don't speak in real life, but God, do I do nightlife? I don't know why, but I come alive. socialize. I'm not much of a social butterfly, but I fly so high up here. People say I got a quiet voice. I'm shouting, but I'm never heard. From up here, you hear every goddamn word. But I come alive on the stage lights, and I live for big nights. And I'm at my best with a guitar and a mic, and I don't speak in real life. But God, do I do nightlife? I don't know why, but I come alive. So don't say you know me if you never come to see me. You can't possibly see me behind these walls. I'm trapped inside my own mind. I try to get out, but I can't help but hide. But something about music and bright lights, a big stage and late nights makes it all alright. 'Cause I come alive on the stage lights. I live for big nights, and I'm at my best with a guitar and a mic, and I don't speak in real life. God, do I do nightlife? I don't know why, but I come alive. I come alive. I'm not angry, I'm just tired. I'm not sad, I just wanna know. This gun's got bullets I and fire, and they're weighing me down. 'Cause I know I won't win, so I hold it in. It's crushing me from the inside out. Wanna lay, rip, wanna scream and shout. I want you to see just what you've done to me, but I don't want you to know what you could do to me. So play the fool, but you're just being cruel. And now I shut my mouth. I know wear myself out. Should wrap my hands around your neck. The blood on yours should stain them red. I'll be fine, just give me a sec to get these thoughts out of my head. 'Cause I could deny it, could try hard to hide it, but it's crushing me from the inside out. Wanna lay, rip, wanna scream and shout. I want you to see just what you've done to me, but I don't want you to know what you could do to me. So play the fool, but you're just being cruel. And now I shut my mouth. myself out. You're wearing me 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 down. Just scared to make a sound. I hold in, and you always win. But it's crushing me from the inside out. Wanna lay rip, wanna scream and shout. I want you to see just what you've done to me, but I don't want you to know what you could do to me. So I play the fool, but you're just being cool. And now I shut my mouth and I wear myself out. I'm not angry, I'm just tired. And I wear myself out. I'm not angry, I'm just tired. And I wear myself out. Makes me wanna run, kick, scream, and shout.
Oh, the irony of me interrupting that song right now. Hi guys, I think this is working. I think this looks like it's working. Hi guys. Ah! Notice the change in angle there, and me looking at something that is not here anymore, but is here. You guys are over here. I mean, I am gonna have to work out the camera angle there because this is a bit, you know, this is a bit, so I might want to try and, although I don't know, it's not that weird, I suppose, because I'm not going to look down here that much. I'm not going to try not to look at myself on there too much. I've got myself in the viewfinder, not the viewfinder, the LCD screen over there anyway. Anyway, point being, what I'm saying here, everybody, is hello! Oh my god, loads of you have suddenly shown up. Daniel's here, Gothic Rock Fantasy, Jason is here. Hello, Jason. And Asda Tube. I think you're new here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think that I have seen you in one of my streams before. If I have and I've forgotten who you are, then please do remind me. But I don't think I've seen you in one of my streams before. I think this is new. But hello. Hi everyone. Yeah, that bit. Hi everyone. Welcome to tonight's stream. I'm very giddy and excited, and I'm also a little bit annoyed because the thing that I'm giddy and excited about is you might notice not just the change in angle, but also the general improvement I think you're probably getting in video quality. Can we all agree that the video quality that you're getting right now is definitely better than usual, correct? And that is because today, I was in the studio, and James and I were chatting. He's started live streaming on Twitch recently. So we were chatting about why I don't use my DSLR for live streaming. And it's because I was under the impression that I couldn't use my DSLR. I was here a few months ago. Oh, well, welcome back again. It's lovely to have you in the chat again. But yeah, I was telling him, hello, John. Just spotted John's there. Good evening, John. Good evening to you too. Yeah, we were chatting about why I don't use my DSLR, and it was because I was under the impression that I couldn't, based on everything that I'd read. You know, it doesn't record continuous video. Yes, indeed, Ducky. It records like 11 minutes at a time, and then it shuts off. And because I'd done lots of reading about it, and from what I could tell, my camera wasn't one of the ones that seemed to have the right things to be able to use it. Like, there was nothing in the description that gave me the impression that I shouldn't be able to use it. But I also wasn't getting any confirmation I could, and I tried just plugging it in. I tried just plugging it in and trying to find it on OBS and set it up as my camera on OBS, and I couldn't do it. So I just assumed, right, I haven't been able to find anything that says I can do it. I've been able to find some stuff that suggests that I might not be able to do it, and plugging it in doesn't work. Anyway, today I was in the studio with James and we were talking about this, and he mentioned that I should be able to use it. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to use it, and that all I really needed was I might need a bit of kit or I might need a bit of software. And it turns out I needed a bit of software. So we tried plugging my camera into his setup to see if this bit of software would use my camera the same way it does his, and it did. It did. So I've hunted down my cable and I have downloaded this software. Hello, John. And I've downloaded this software and it's working. I think it's working. Based on what I can see here, this looks like I am getting the better footage from that camera. I'm definitely getting footage from that camera because when I point at it, I can see it on here. But it looks better quality to me as well. So do you guys agree that the camera quality is overall better and that this is generally a good thing? As much as I'm annoyed that I should have known this ages ago, but that people online who give tech advice do a really good job of basically hiding the advice under so much terminology and nonsense that doesn't matter, and just trying to tell you, is it a Sony? No, it's a Canon. So there's actually a little bit of software from Canon themselves. There's a webcam app, webcam utility thing that they do that you download. It doesn't say that my camera can be used for it because it lists all these different camera models, and it only lists like their most recent camera models for all this stuff. But you can use it with mine too, it turns out. But yeah, so I've just had to download that bit of Canon. The camera is all good. Good. But yeah. Result. So it turns out all this time I could have been using my camera to live stream. One downside is that it's gonna use the camera battery to do it, and the camera battery is not quite fully charged because I was using it today. It's charged up pretty well, so we'll see how long it lasts, and I might have to switch back to the webcam before the end of the stream. We'll see. But we've got that. Let's make use of it, shall we? Let's not spend the entire stream talking about my camera. Thumbs up for the camera. Yeah. I'm genuinely excited and annoyed at the same time. So I needed to have that moment with you guys. That this whole time I could have been using this camera to live stream, and because of stupid tech gurus online just not actually making it easy to get this information. Stupid tech people just not telling you this stuff properly in plain English. I was under the belief I couldn't. And I could have. And all I needed was one little bit of software. But we know now. We know. Which means a new camera is suddenly going down the list of priorities. It's still high on the list of priorities because I still do want a camera I can use remote control with an app, because I can't do that with this. You do have to get some of the fancier models to get the remote control app feature. But that would be good to have. And just generally, it'd be nice to have another camera, really, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to have another one. So then I've got options, because I do a lot of filming these days. And maybe one day I'll get into filming other people as well. We're getting pretty good at this stuff. Anyway, let's start the stream, because tonight's stream is not about my new camera. Well, not my new camera. Tonight's stream is not about my camera and how I've found out I can actually use it. Tonight's stream is about it doesn't matter. Like everything I post at the moment, it's about the new single. Ducky is awesome. Ducky is indeed awesome. But yeah, like everything that I am doing at the moment, it's about the new single, because, well, that's what being an independent musician is. It's you put out a song and then that's all you talk about for at least 2 months, and then you eventually put out another one. So tonight we are doing a special stream. I've done YouTube videos like this in the past, but I decided to make this a stream-style bit of content instead of a normal video this time, because I thought that this was actually something that would work better as a more interactive sort of piece of media for you guys. Because you guys might have... I need to look there. Look there. I'm talking to you. We're going to get that happening a lot today. But yeah, you guys might have questions about differently, or you guys might have things that you've thought of or felt when you've heard the lyrics that you might want to share as well. So I thought it'd be fun to do this as more of a a interactive style. So we're doing it as a stream, whereas we've done it as YouTube videos in the past. But we're going to do a behind the song analysis of the song, go through it lyric by lyric, talk about the writing process, how it came into the world, and why I made certain decisions about it. I've made notes because we know me, I ramble. So if I don't make notes, we won't actually cover everything we should. And I will just continue to ramble about my camera for 10 minutes of the stream. We've done 10 minutes on the camera already. But we should start with what will be a very ropey rendition of the song, because obviously I am still I'm still not fully recovered from the COVID in terms of singing. My lungs are still not 100%. It's annoying because I'm at the point where I can sing again now, but I'm just noticing I've not got the breath control I had. So it will be a bit ropey because I'm a bit out of practice and just generally not 100%. We're getting there though, and I need to exercise the voice really. I think I need to exercise the lungs now to get them back in working order. So we're going to have a quick rendition of the song, and then we'll play through it and we'll go through the lyrics, and I'll chat to you guys about what specific lyrics actually mean, and why I chose certain things over others. You've probably all seen at this point, I put up on TikTok that there was actually a lyric change in the vocal booth, and there are a few little bits like that in this. This is not one of those songs that I sat down and I just wrote all in one go, because sometimes that happens. You sit down and you just write a song like in the space of an hour or 30 minutes. I've bashed out a song in 30 minutes before, not gonna lie. That was Blush, which some of you have heard but isn't actually officially released. So hello, Ray. But yeah, so this was one where it wasn't bashed out in half an hour. It wasn't even bashed out in a full setting. It's taken, I think in total, 6 years. This song has taken from when I first came up with the chorus idea to when I finally actually created this final version that you guys have heard. It's taken 6 years. And a lot of that was done in those last few weeks that I was in the studio back in February. Lots of stuff was done literally back in Feb, right when I was, not February even, it would be January actually we finished this one, wasn't it? Yeah, back in January when we finished this song off. Yeah. Anyway. So, let's have our little rendition first, shall we? Pop some reverb on. Reverb. Sorry, that was really aggressive. Reverb. And we'll see how good a job I do with this. I've got my little book here in case I forget my lyrics, because that might happen tonight. Makes me wanna run, kick, scream and shout, let it all out, blow the cobwebs away. First thing this morning, flat the wrong side of bed. Now the stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. Oh, and I'm still yawning, but it's full speed ahead. There's something about how you can sleep when you're dead. Oh, I know I'm half asleep, but somewhere else I need to be. Honestly, it's not that deep, just the future's right in front of me. So reach out or bow out, don't slow down, you'll miss out. Don't let make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout, lay it all out, blow the cobwebs away, make a big scene, be a drama queen. Who cares if you've seen what the neighbors might say? Hold your head up high, let them see you cry. You got nothing to hide, oh baby, 'cause it doesn't matter. Something small can really spoil your mood, so you self-medicate, swapping feelings for food. Oh, it might seem dumb, but if you're telling the truth, It's probably something dating back to your youth. Oh, but it's really not that deep. You probably just need some sleep. There's someone else you're meant to be. You just need a little self-belief. So shut up and buck up. Can't keep up, it's bad luck. Don't they make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout? Lay all out, blow the cobwebs away. Make a big scene, be a drama queen. Who cares if you've seen or what the neighbors might say? Hold your head up high, let me see you cry. You got nothing to hide, oh baby. 'Cause it doesn't matter. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Doesn't really matter, you wish it didn't matter. It shouldn't really matter, 'cause no one thinks it matters. It doesn't really matter, it shouldn't really matter, 'cause all that really matters is what we decide matters. So what do you think matters? 'Cause all that really matters is what we agree matters. And don't they make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout? Lay all out, blow the cobwebs away. Make a big scene, be a drama queen. Who cares if you've seen or what the neighbors might say? Hold your head up high, let them see you cry. You got nothing to hide, oh baby. 'Cause it doesn't matter. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, nothing really matters, and all that really matters is what we decide matters. Again, apologies for the general still bunged up phlegminess and croakiness of the lungs not being quite 100%. They're getting there. We are getting there. I can actually belt again now. I was at the up until about a week ago. Reverb's still on. Up until about a week ago, I wasn't even able to belt without it being in a coughing fit. So it's nice to actually be able to belt without bursting into. Do you burst into a coughing fit? No, you burst into laughter, don't you? What's the one for a coughing fit? Anyway, whatever that is, without that happening. Such a catchy song. I keep finding myself humming the tune. Loving the new Yes! The camera setup is worth it. We have been complimented on the camera setup. It means it was all worth it. Hopefully it won't die on us too soon. But yes. I'm so glad you guys like the song. Killing it. Why, thank you. Is that the noise you made to tell Bear? Not exactly. Not too dissimilar. It was a meow, 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 meow. You can actually hear the original of that. Because I've filmed already another video like this one. I'm doing another demos versus the final version video, and I've already filmed that. And you'll actually hear the noises that I was making in place of the guitar. Because I couldn't play the lead guitar. I wrote this guitar part. I tried to play it. I even worked out how to play it on guitar, and I couldn't do it because I'm just not good enough at electric guitar. I'm not good enough at that sort of. I don't do scales enough. I don't practice actual guitar enough to be good at doing riffs and stuff like that. Anyway. But yeah, you will hear the exact noise that is on the original demo. I love the song, Emma. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Awesome. Enjoying this. I thank you, Ray. Oh, glad you're able to belt again. Hope you're 100% soon. I'm sure I will be. I am slowly getting there. I think it is just going to be it's just going to be a question of exercising the vocal now to get it back up to full health. Because obviously, it's been like 3 weeks since I've been able to sing properly, so I just haven't been singing. I probably should have also had some peppermint tea or like a vocal zone or something before I hopped on. But I've just come from the studio, so I've been a bit and found out this new thing about my camera, so I've been a bit all over the place. But anyway, hello, Genius Bar Music. Welcome to the stream. Right. It's going to be a fun one tonight, I think. I feel like I can feel the fun in the chat. I feel like everybody's they've come to participate, and we always like that. Right. So yeah, there's the song. That's roughly what it'll sound like live whenever I play it. This will probably be one where if I do actually get out doing like proper, not just doing cover gigs like I am planning to go back to doing cover gigs, as I've told you guys already last time. But when I get out and do like just me gigs, this will probably be one where you end up hearing a backing track version of it quite a bit. I've got a backing track version already that we put together in the studio, and I might put together some other backing tracky versions for live shows. I'm really thinking more about what I will do when I do get back out and start gigging more in terms of how I'm actually going to play my original music, because I like playing it just guitar like that, but that song, as you could probably tell, it's really hard for me to play and sing at the same time, partially because it's all so belted and there's a lot of little bits of vocal gymnastics going on in there that are quite hard to do when you've got a guitar pressed up against you, because every time you're strumming like that, the guitar just sort of slams into you even if you try and make it not. So that, and it is quite tricky to play because it's all bar chords, which is why I've got the capo on to cheat, so I can do the F as an E instead of, because otherwise it's entirely bar chords and my hand was starting to go in a spasm. But it's still very tricky to play all the way through live, so it'll probably be one that I get the backing track out on a lot. And it also just sounds so different when you've got the full track to it, doesn't it? But yeah, that is the live version of it. Anyway, so let's actually go through the song and chat a little more about the different lyrics and the different little stories there are to tell about them. I'm just going to grab my notes because I can feel it coming on already. I can sense the rambling, the desire to just ramble on. But I made notes so this wouldn't happen. So, according to my notes, I first want to tell you guys about how the song first came into being. I'm just going to put the guitar down for this. No, I'm going to keep the guitar because I'll probably play the bits as I go through. So we'll keep the guitar. But yeah, I first came up with the song, like I said, about 6 years ago. I was out at a friend's place, and this friend lived really close to me. So I used to walk to their place, and then I would walk back. And I was walking back one night, and I just generally had one of those days where, I'd had a nice time with my mates, but everything else about the day had just been a bit, And as I was walking home, I didn't have any music with me because I've forgotten to bring my MP3 with me. Been playing today and got cramp-like pain in my little finger. I know that pain. I've been playing violin all day today, so I'm really impressed with myself that I managed to make it through that without getting cramp in my hand. Because I've been doing violin all day, and that always gives me cramp. Like right. I get it right like here when I'm playing violin, right in like tendony muscle areas in the hand, which usually makes it tricky to play guitar afterwards. But anyway, yeah, so I was walking home from this friend's place, and I didn't have any music with me, so I was doing what I quite often do when I'm walking home alone, is I sing to myself, because I'm a crazy person. And I have gotten funny looks in the street before because of it, but it was pretty deserted that night, so I was able to sing to myself and properly hum along without anybody giving me any funny looks or giving me any grief about it. And this chorus just popped into my head. This dun dun that make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout, let it all out, blow the cobwebs away, make a big scene, be a drama queen. Who cares if you've seen what the neighbors might say? Hold your head up high, let 'em see you cry. You got nothing to hide for, baby. Do. 'Cause it doesn't matter. And that is basically exactly the same. I think there's been a couple of tweaks to the lyrics since, a word here and there has changed. But that is exactly the first chorus, the melody, and the all about it is exactly the same from that very first night when I came up with it. And I'm actually quite surprised I didn't end up forgetting it, because I didn't record it into my phone or anything, and I didn't play it as soon as I got home like I often would. That was great, by the way. Why, thank you, Ray. But yeah, I didn't put it down straight away. It just stayed in my head, and it stayed in my head for days until I finally sat down with the guitar and I bashed out that quick. Don't that make you wanna run? Don't that make you wanna run? Kick, scream, and shout. Lay all out, blow the cobwebs away. Make a big scene, play a drum free. Yeah, see what the neighbors might say. I bashed that out quick. I've done that completely wrong there. Completely like, what chords? Make a big scene. Yeah, I sat down and worked that out, and I had that chorus for ages. And with that chorus, I worked out that the verses were going to go. Which, if you know me, is weird. If you've been in a lot of my songwriting streams and you've listened to me talk about how I write music before, you'll know that's a bit weird for me, because I am usually a lyrics first, melody first, chord progressions second. Like, usually lyrics and melody come for me pretty much at the same time, but if anything's going to come first, it's going to be lyrics, and then I'm pushing everything around that. But obviously I had the lyrics and the melody and the whole idea for the chorus, but I didn't have any idea I didn't have any idea what the verses were going to sound like in terms of lyrics. I just knew they were going to be. And this song actually started life. I'm just going to check my notes to make sure I'm not. Yep. I'm not digressing. I'm going in the direction I meant to. This song actually started life as a completely different song with a completely different message behind it. Because I was still, 6 years ago, I was 20 years old. And I was still writing some pretty angsty music in my early 20s. And in particular, I had this friendship group fallout that meant that I was just having a lot of bad days on a regular basis. And so I was just originally writing the song about a bad day, which is where that first lyric in the first verse comes from. First thing this morning, flew out the wrong side of bed. Now the stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. Ooh. That's where that first lyric came from, was the idea that the song was going to be about a bad day. So, first thing this morning, fell out the wrong side of bed. Now there's stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. That was what that lyric was always about. And then from there, I was going to start describing the day more. So it actually started originally, it went, 1, first thing this morning, flew out the wrong side of bed. Now there's stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. Then 2, I think it was something like something I fell out with a friend, something about that. I probably have the original lyrics around somewhere written down on a piece of paper, but it didn't end up staying like that. Obviously, you guys have heard this version. It is there's no counting in it. There's whoa-ohs instead of the counting. And it's not just generically about a bad day where lots of things go wrong. But the one little leftover from the fact that was where the song started is that first lyric. That first thing this morning, fell out the wrong side of bed. Now the stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. And I didn't really come back to the lyrics of the verses or even remotely work on it for like 4 years. For like 4 years, I just didn't even touch this song. It just sat there on a piece of paper somewhere, a chorus idea that one day I wanted to come back to, that I had some ideas for what I was going to do with the song. But it was one of those where I thought, you know what, this is a full production number. This is a rock number. This is not one I'm going to be able to write on me, just an acoustic guitar, and do it justice and play live. So we'll come back to it when we get better at production and stuff, and we'll really write it out. I missed my own premiere, lol. What? What do you mean you missed your own premiere? Right? Did you premiere something on YouTube and you forgot about it? I've done that before, 'cause I am organised. But yeah, so So I thought I was going to come back to it and flesh it out as a full song. And obviously, in the end, I did end up coming back to it and flesh it out as a full song. But I did that when I first sort of conceived of the idea of doing this album, which was around the time that I wrote Baby Steps, and I was looking at going into the studio to work on Baby Steps. And I'd picked out 2 other songs to work on alongside Baby Steps that you guys actually aren't going to hear anytime soon, because those have both been put on a shelf to wait to come back to, because they're not going on this album. Because I decided that Baby Steps was going to go on an album of songs. Oop, that was not meant to be typed here. Oops. It's okay, right? Yeah, so I decided that it was going to go on an album of songs that was similar in nature to Baby Steps. I joke that this album it essentially is. It's me documenting one of my many breakdowns. So documenting my breakdown as if there's been one. There was one at the time, right? Do you class yourself as alternate rock? I don't know if I would class myself as that. I think that I would class myself as more pop rock than alternate rock. My stuff is very definitely pop. There's a lot of alt rock influence to it, and you might call it alt pop, alt rock, indie pop, are all things that people have described my music as. But I generally just go with the big genre tag of pop rock, and then under that, certain songs. This is more of a pop punk song, I would say, and the next song that's coming out is more of a synth rock song. Still quite pop punky. So I'd say that this one is more a pop punk song. The next one is more of a synth kind of pop punk song. And then the 2 that are coming out after that are more like how would I describe them? They're more musical theatre style pop rock. No, that's not quite right. Classically influenced. They've got a lot of violin on them. That's what we'll go with. That's how I've just dropped my pick. 1 sec. So I'm not sure. I wouldn't necessarily call myself an alternate rock artist. I would probably call myself a pop rock artist. And within that genre, I would say that I fit mostly in the sort of more alt pop than alt rock, I would say. I think when I was trying to come up with the exact genre tag I would go for with mine, I was coming up with indie pop and indie rock were the 2 that were the closest. But even I really don't know what I would specifically. Every time I try and come up with a genre tag, it's like, but I don't quite fit that perfectly. But yeah, pop rock more than anything else. So I came here and Miss One View. Oh, bless you, Ray. Oh, no, I feel bad. I accidentally made you forget your own premiere. Oh, we've all been there. Right. What was I saying? Yeah, so that was how the song started life, and you can still hear it in that one lyric. But obviously then I decided that this song was going to go on this album with Baby Steps and all that stuff. And I was looking at, because I decided to make this album because I had Baby Steps, and then I had a few other songs, including this one. This one was one I looked at and I thought, oh, that actually works with this. There was the next single is one that I thought worked with this. And there are a couple of other songs that are going to be album tracks that were really about, I called your genre good music. They were really about the same sort of themes. So I wanted to make this album around the themes of mental health, and specifically around recovery more than anything else. Because obviously Baby Steps was a song that I wrote while I was undergoing counselling for the first time, and I was really starting to recover from a particularly bad bout of depression that I've talked to you guys before about that particular part in my life and how bad things have gotten, and the recovery process from that has been ongoing, and I'm still now learning more and more about the possible reasons why I had the breakdown I did when I did it. The big breakdown that I often talk about, that this album specifically kind of documents, why things got as bad as they did when they did. And I'm still learning now about a lot of stuff about me that makes me understand more why I struggle as much as I do with life in general. Because the truth is, I do struggle a lot with life in general. I know I joke about it on this channel. I joke about how, I put together a schedule for the channel, and I'm going to put this videos out on these days, and I'm going to stick to, and then it winds up, a month in, I've already completely failed to stick to that, and I'm having to rejig things all over again. I'm having a week off because I've completely burnt out, and I've burnt out despite not actually really doing that much and spending that much energy on doing things, but I wind up spending a lot of energy on stressing about doing things, and I wind up spending a lot of energy on stressing just about stressing. And it is generally a problem in my life. I am not someone who copes well with the way the world currently works in general, and I'm learning more and more about me every day, and why maybe what it is about how my brain is built that might be causing that, and different things that I've been doing for X amount of years that are bad habits that are actually causing things to get worse. I think I'm finally in the stage where I can say we're actually seeing some genuine recovery. Like I'm losing my job at the end of the month, as I've told you guys in the last stream, so I'm going to be going back to doing cover gigs full time, and I haven't completely broken down yet. Like there have been some wobbles, but overall, now it could just be it's a delayed response, and I'm going to have a complete meltdown about this in a month's time. But I think I'm finally at the stage where I'm starting to actually do the things that I mentioned in baby steps. But yeah, this song was then going to go on that album about all those sorts of themes. And it's actually ended up coming at quite a poignant time in my life because of that. Because it's something that I'm thinking about a lot at the moment. And when I decided that, I then started writing the rest of the lyrics for that first verse. And I had the first verse for ages, went to the studio, we recorded that first verse. The second verse didn't come until we'd already laid down some of the vocals even. No, we haven't laid down that's for another song. No, we hadn't laid down the vocals for this yet, but I'd done the demo version. And for ages I kept telling James, we'll do that when I finish the vocals. We'll do that when we finish the vocals. And then one day I was just in the studio, and I was looking through the book, to look at something else that we were working on, and I just went, "Oh, James, look!" And I just showed him the second verse. He's like, "I wrote it. I don't remember doing that, but apparently I wrote this second verse, and look, it's actually good." I'm sticking with this. Well, we've got a second verse. So it was quite a slow build, this song. But once I had that theme once I changed that theme from the original theme of what the song was going to be about, just a general bad day, to the themes that it now is about, because now the song is more about the general struggle that you might have to, we all have on a regular basis, to tell ourselves that things that are stressing us out, that are getting to us, really don't matter when they don't matter. But also about this strange feeling that I have looking at the world a lot sometimes, where I'm looking at stuff like, I look at the way that the country is run sometimes, or decisions that should just be made because they make sense. People need money to do this thing, and this thing is going to benefit people's lives, but they can't get that money because of some stupid piece of bureaucracy that doesn't actually matter. And how frustrating it is to look at stuff and think that we all tell ourselves on a regular basis that being happy, being healthy is what really matters, that as long as people are like that, nothing else in life matters. Money doesn't matter. Status doesn't matter. How pretty you are doesn't matter. But the truth is, all those things do matter. Money does matter. Status does matter. How pretty you are does matter, because it affects all of our lives, and it shouldn't. And there's that sort of weird disconnect, because a lot of the time, money doesn't matter. A lot of the time, you need to stop stressing about certain things because it's the stressing about them that's getting in the way. And other times, it makes sense that we're stressing about these things. We shouldn't be stressing about money because it shouldn't matter, but it does, and it really affects our lives. And it's hard to get into that right mindset to really start recovering from a big breakdown, if that big breakdown is based in things that have actually happened, that have affected your life, that frustratingly are to do with things that shouldn't matter. Like, you know, in my case, I stress a lot about social situations, and I stress a lot about how bad I can be at social situations. And people will tell me regularly that it doesn't matter that I'm more introverted, and it doesn't matter that, you know, I'm a bit awkward. But the truth is, it does. It does matter that I'm a bit awkward, because I am really bad at networking because of it. And I'm in a career where networking is a massive part of it. So I can tell myself I shouldn't stress about these situations. I shouldn't stress about socializing. But it makes sense that I'm stressing about it too, because it's such a big thing in my life. So yeah, that's what the song is now about. God forbid it should be about something I can sum up in one sentence, shouldn't it? Most artists have those troubles, I think. Seems to go hand in hand with artistic talents. See, I don't like I've got a whole video on my other channel about how I hate the whole tortured artist concept for that reason. I don't buy into that whole idea. I think that we tend to celebrate the artists that have pain a lot more, because we like to generally romanticize pain. And actually, there are a lot of artists out there who don't, you know. There are a lot of people out there making pop music, making good pop music, making great art, who don't have loads of mental health problems. And I also think that we discount the fact that actually a lot of the time when you make art and when you put yourself out there in the world, and when you are a performer in particular, not just an artist, when you're a performer, the toll that can have on people's mental health problems. Like, it's not just artists are the kind of people who have mental health problems. Sometimes it's the doing the art can cause the mental health problems, because it's not the art, it's the performance side of it, and it's the way that we then treat people in society like that. Like, once you've worked properly as a performer, and you realise how people can actually treat performers sometimes, it's like, now this is why people end up with, you know, this is why people end up like the likes of you know, when we talk about these big celebrities and how they always put, you know, they have this smile on his face and you never see him coming. It's the ones that make you laugh the most, the ones that, yeah, but that's part of why, because it is linked into it, I think. But yeah, anyway, not the point. But yeah, so we had those themes then. I had the themes that the song was going to be written around. It was going to be written around these concepts, and because of that, I then started thinking about the story I actually wanted to tell in the song and the lyrics I wanted to use to do that. So we came from that first lyric that remained the same from the original song. First thing this morning, fell out the wrong side of bed. Now I got stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. But oh oh oh, and then I came up with, I'm still yawning, but it's full speed ahead. 'Cause something about how you can sleep when you're dead. Oh. And I was quite proud when I came up with that lyric, because that sums up a lot of the themes of the songs, I think. I'm still yawning, but it's full speed ahead. 'Cause something about how you can sleep when you're dead. I threw in a lot of those phrases in the lyrics in this on purpose. Phrases that people say to you, especially when you work in the gig economy. You know, when you work as a performer, or as like somebody who is a freelancer of any kind. You know, the you can sleep when you're dead mentality. If you got to do it all now, you got to work hard now. You know, the rest is for the wicked. No rest for the wicked, or all that nonsense. That is nonsense, but again, is also kind of true. Like, because I then follow it on with, I know I'm half asleep, but somewhere else I need to be. Honestly, it's not that deep, just my future's right in front of me. That literally sums it up to me. The fact that, you know, stuff like you can sleep when you're dead is stupid phrases that we say to people to convince them to work harder than they really need to, and to just grind and grind and grind, and that's what life is supposed to be about. And we all know it's not. Life is not about just grinding until you make enough money and then you die. That's not what it's meant to be about. But at the same time, when you work in that kind of field, when you work in a field like music, there's somewhere else you need to be. I know I'm yawning. I know I'm tired. I know I should just take a break. But, like, I've got this thing now, and this opportunity goes away if I don't grab it now, so I've just got to grab it. And the line, my future's right in front of me, was specifically about that. About, you know, it's hard to convince yourself to slow down and do it right when there's if you stop and you slow down, you might miss out on something. And if you miss out on that something, especially if like me, I find it really hard because I'm 26 years old. I didn't pursue music earlier in my life. I now look at what I'm doing with my life at the moment, and I feel really far behind everybody else. So it feels difficult to slow down and like take that time to just look after yourself, especially when sometimes I look at my life and I'm like, yeah, but I did have the time to do these things and look after myself. Just somehow I lost that time somewhere. So it's hard to just take those breaks and make yourself slow down, when if you do, you might miss out on something. So then I followed that up with, so reach out or bow out, don't slow down, you'll miss out. So obviously this don't slow down, you'll miss out bit is pretty obviously linked back to that. But the so reach out or bow out was a line that I wrote to be about two things at the same time. The idea that, you've got to reach out for those opportunities right now, and if you're not going to reach out for them, then you're going to miss out on them. But also, I specifically went with the line, so reach out, because it's something that, we talk about a lot when it comes to people who are struggling with their mental health, is why didn't they reach out? Why didn't they just look for help? You get told that if you reach out, help will be there, so you should reach out. And I personally I see it as like, a lot of the time there's a bit of a mentality of either you need to reach out and ask for help, or you need to just get over it. Reach out or bow out. Reach out or just stop talking about it. Like, do something and fix your life, or stop talking about it. And I feel like when I wrote this lyric, it was sort of me talking to myself a little bit and actually saying it to myself, because it is true to an extent. Like, if you want to get better, and the thing that you're struggling with is an aspect of your mental health that you need to make changes to your life to fix, then you're the one who has to make those changes. You have to reach out. You have to make that first step, or stop complaining. Don't just sit there and complain about it. You've got to do something. But at the same time, it's also something that people say to you, and that there's sort of this mentality there that is quite harmful as well, because it's well enough to say, it's one thing to say, people should just reach out and the help will be there. But the truth is, sometimes, one, you reach out and the help isn't there. And two, you reach out, the help is there, but it's not as simple as reaching out once. It's multiple times, and you've got to keep working at it. And I think we like to paint it as simple as, so just reach out, and then it's done. But it's not as simple as that. So that line had that sort of double meaning for me. And I don't know if that communicates in the song to people or not. That's what it meant for me when I wrote it. But obviously I know that these lyrics are going to say certain things to different people based on your own lives. So you guys might have read something else into that. But that was why I picked that specific phrasing. How do you know how to reach out when you don't know what is happening to you? Yes! That too. Sometimes you're trying to reach out and you're trying to work out what's wrong with you, but you don't know the thing that's actually wrong with you. And sometimes you go and you reach out to somebody and they tell you one thing is wrong with you, and actually the doctor might get it wrong, because for some reason we're still sent to the GP to talk about mental health problems, despite the fact that GPs aren't actually really trained for that. And we should just be getting referrals straight to psychologists and counsellors and stuff, and then they should be doing the diagnosing and all that. But you've got to go through all these stupid, again, things that shouldn't matter, stupid procedures that shouldn't exist that get in the way. I mean, I've had more diagnoses than I can shake a stick at in terms of general anxiety, social anxiety, depression, clinical depression, la-da-da-dee-da. Oh, great. Another box to tick. Anyway, not here to talk about that, because I could ramble for hours about that. But yeah, that was that section, and why I wrote that section the way I did, and why I chose those specific lyrics. But yeah, I'm sure you guys have gotten your own sort of ideas from it. Anyway, so then we got the chorus, and the chorus obviously goes, Don't that make you want to run, kick, scream, and shout, let it all out, blow the cobwebs away? And the first time you hear that, at the very start, when I say makes me wanna run, kick, scream, and shout, that was the original phrasing when I wrote the first chorus. That was the original set of phrasing. Labels that are not helpful. They can be helpful. You know, it varies. Just getting the label enough isn't necessarily helpful. It's the label is only helpful when it comes with the help. Is the thing. But yeah. But yeah, that was the original phrasing, was that one at the start that makes me want to run, kick, scream, and shout. And I changed it in the choruses that came on to "Don't that make you want to run, kick, scream, and shout," which I've written as "it doesn't," because that's technically what I'm saying there, but I'm saying "done it" because that's just how I speak, and I like to sing how I speak. But yeah, I changed the phrasing there to the "Done it, make you want to run, kick, scream, and shout." 'Cause at that point I wanted to make it be sort of like talking to the listener style way of phrasing it, and also sort of talking to me, you know, and the sort of asking people, like, basically, doesn't this make you angry? Doesn't it make you want to do something? Doesn't seeing the way the world is and how things don't work, doesn't seeing the way your life is and what's not working in it make you want to do something? Doesn't it make you crazy? Doesn't it make you want to scream and shout and change something? Was the sort of idea behind that phrasing. And then the rest of the chorus, I think, is relatively self-explanatory. You know, don't that make you want to run, kick, scream, and shout, let it all out, blow the cobwebs away, make a big scene, be a drama queen. Who cares if you've seen or what the neighbours might say? That's something we talk about a lot. You know, people. You know, what will your neighbours say? What will your mum say? What will your dad say? What would so and so say about this? What will people think of you if you do this? Don't you worry about what people will think of you. And obviously that's one of the things that really doesn't matter, that we do need to worry about less, that I think we all worry about too much, is just what other people are going to think of the decisions we make. And really, what other people think of the decisions we make is unimportant. How other people are affected by our decisions matters. Like, if the decision you're making is going to affect other people and it could harm them or, you know, benefit them, then that's an important part of your decision making. But what someone else is going to think of your decision really shouldn't matter to us as much as it does, but it does. And I'm a sucker for this myself. Like, I always get scared of doing things, and what other people might think of me doing those things. And, you know, am I allowed to just continue pursuing music and doing, you know, not doing it right, or not following the right path, not taking that opportunity that somebody thought I should have taken, or taking that opportunity that actually someone else thinks I shouldn't have taken. An example I think I like a lot to point out for this is when people get, you know, when it comes to like the talent shows that you can go on, the TV competitions you can go on, and a lot of people in the music scene can get quite judgy of people who have gone on them, but then other people, all they want to do is get on them, and everybody's got an opinion about whether you should do them or not, and whether they're right, and all that stuff. And the truth is, the only person it really matters to, whether you want to do an opportunity like that, is you. Do you think it's going to be a good opportunity for you or not? If it's not, don't do it. If it is, then do it. And who cares what anyone else thinks of it? But yeah. Stuff the neighbours. Yeah, screw the neighbours. Well, don't actually stuff your stuff your neighbours who are weird and judgy. But don't be rude and mean to your neighbours unnecessarily, because your neighbours are people like you, and they're your community, and be good to your community, guys. Anyway. Anyway, how does it go next? Make a big scene, be a drama queen. Who cares if you've seen what the neighbours might say? Hold your head up high. Hold your head up high. Let me see you cry. You got nothing to hide. Oh, baby. Do. 'Cause it doesn't matter. That one is me talking to me. You know, the hold your head up high line. That is me talking to me, big time. Because I'm not great for that. I am not great for standing up and just doing stuff and being seen and not letting myself cower away with things. Hi, Rosalind! He's related to that chat about feeling like you should take a break, but also feeling worried that you're not going to be successful if you... Yep. And we talk about it so much as well. It's something that's talked about in industries like ours so much. How you must take the breaks and don't worry about that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if you do, you can fall behind. So like that doesn't help. And what we really need is we need to change. We do need change in our society to make it so that people don't have to literally work themselves into the ground to do not just the things they love, but just to have a life that is genuinely enjoyable. So many people wind up having to work themselves into the ground just to be able to cope and survive and do anything remotely enjoyable with their lives. And we've sort of normalized that as being okay. Normalized, that word normalized. We've made that the way the world works. And if we change the way the world works, then us musician types wouldn't have to worry about it either, because the only reason we have to worry about it so much is because, you know, where success is so heavily linked to to your quality of life. Anyway, that's another chat for another time. There is always going to be someone who thinks you should do it differently. Yes, everybody always has an opinion. It's that quote, opinions are like, everyone has them. Everyone has one, and some of them stink. The great thing about the internet is that there are so many people in the world that would like you being. Oh, that's true. That is true. And it's something I have to like remind myself of. And also, I have to remind myself that at the end of the day, the block feature exists. So if somebody shows up who doesn't like me and is just being a dick, I can just block them, and I should. But just doing stuff like I'm scared. There's a whole track on the album that I'll talk to you about this more when the album comes out. There's a whole track on the album that is literally just about how I am afraid of pretty much everything all the time, and it has dictated so much of my life. And that you can feel that, I think, pretty heavily in this song, because a big part of this song is me telling myself to stop being so afraid of things, because it means I'm not living my life. Anyway, on to the second verse, because otherwise the camera will die on us. So the second verse then comes in, and I was so proud of the second verse that I don't remember writing. I just found in the book one day and apparently wrote at some point. And it goes, something small can really spoil your mood, so you self-medicate, swapping feelings for food. Oh. Imogen told me that was a proper relatable lyric when I did that one in the studio. She really liked that lyric. And I feel like for me, the reason I went with so you self-medicate swapping feelings for food there over anything else was just because food rhymed with mood. So it was accurate, it was true, and it rhymed. But I could put so many things in there. Swapping feelings for one of my go-tos, random video edits from TV shows that I love or bands that I love, of just people doing cute things from the bands that I love, or edits of my favorite characters from TV shows just being cool and badass for like 3 minutes straight. That's one of my go-tos, is just binging stuff like that. You could swap it for she does. She's a big foodie. Food is definitely one of her big joys and comforts in life. So but I've had a lot of bad coping mechanisms throughout my life, and basically that was sort of what that line was supposed to be about. And that was just one that I thought people would relate to, that rhymed with mood and that did relate to my own life, because I've never had any sort of struggle with anything like an eating disorder or anything like that, but I have had my struggles with comfort eating and with binging. And it was specifically something that I turned to when I was trying to not do other bad coping mechanisms. I wound up turning to food big time, particularly when I was during the breakdown, as we like to call it, the big wobble. That was a big thing that I did turn to. I was lonely, I would eat. I was sad, I would eat. I was bored, I would eat. I was angry, I would eat. And it just got to the point where I was just constantly, instead of trying to feel something, I would just put on a TV show I liked and I would eat. I would, just put on a song I liked and just And they're all things that can be good coping mechanisms. You know, there's turning to a favorite food as a comfort thing is a good coping mechanism sometimes, and then other times it's a bad one. And the key is, are you swapping your feelings for the food? Are you feeling your feelings, or are you just swapping them for a coping mechanism? And I love to swap my feelings for a coping mechanism. And I've tried so many of them over the years. Some classics like the comfort eating. Some more obscure ones like the random obsession with the violin. Do I want to feel my feelings at the moment, or do I want to fixate on a violin for the next few months and turn that into the new thing I'm going to do that's going to make me happy? It won't. Those feelings won't go away. You have to actually deal with them. But yeah, we got that bit, and then it goes, might seem dumb, but if you're telling the truth, it's probably something dating back to you. Oh. Another cliche, you know, that is also true. Another cliche that is true. A lot of the time, stuff that is bothering you quite a lot in your life is probably relating back to something from your past. And if you keep ignoring the thing it's relating back to, that thing doesn't go away and you don't start coping with it. And then we get my favourite section of the song. I love this bit that goes, but it's really not that deep, you probably just need some sleep. There's someone else you're meant to be, just need a little self-belief. So shut up and buck up, can't keep up, it's bad luck. Don't let make you wanna. Yeah, so that section is my favourite section for a couple of reasons. Not just because I think it sounds cool, because I do think it genuinely sounds like, sometimes you like lyrics just because they sound good in the song. But it's also the bit that I thought, you know, it's the bit that I really liked. The reason I picked those lyrics, it's the bit that I really wanted to put in the song. You know, but it's really not that deep. You probably just need some sleep. So at this point, I was imagining this, where before in the first verse I'm saying, honestly, it's not that. I'm saying, I know I'm half asleep, but there's somewhere else I need to be. Honestly, it's not that deep. Just my future's right in front of me. It was sort of a comeback to that, but this time, but it's really not that deep. You probably just need some sleep. Is someone talking to me, and also me talking to other people. I tell people this all the time. It's one of my go-to lies when I don't want to tell people why I'm not okay. When, you know, they ask you, are you alright? And you're like, nah, I'm probably just tired. And you know it's a lie, and they know it's a lie, and the best people in the world are ones who just accept the lie, because it's basically code for, I don't want to talk about it. I'm not okay, but I don't have the energy to talk about it right now. But it's also, you know, another cliche of, if you do, sometimes all you need is a good night's sleep and you will feel so much better. But at the same time, it's a default one to go to of, oh, you know, maybe you're just tired and you just need some sleep. Or maybe, you know, maybe there's something else there that we should look at. So it's both me talking to me again, me talking to other people again, and also me talking to, also people talking to me in that section. And it specifically gets even more like people talking to me when it's there's someone else you're meant to be. You just need a little self-belief. Another cliche, just have the confidence, just believe in yourself and everything will be alright. But at the same time, again, also true, a big part of what has held me back in my life is not having the confidence to just stand up and do things and believe that I was going to get it right if I did it. Yeah, so I really like that section for that. And then it goes into the, so shut up and buck up, can't keep up, that's bad luck. And obviously I love that section. It's just so much fun to sing. But also, again, you know, it's stuff that we say, just buck up. And the coming back to that theme of can't keep up, that's bad luck. Because that is sort of how it winds up being. Is if you can't keep up with these things, if you aren't doing the grind and you don't succeed, and that's something you get a lot as an artist. Because if you're a musician on anything, something we musicians get a lot is we get a lot of marketing experts will aim their content at us, and a lot of that content can wind up being quite shaming of artists, of this idea of, the ones who graft are the ones who make it, and you have to be grafting and look after yourself. But remember, if you aren't grafting, no one in the industry. I've met so many people in the industry who don't graft enough, they don't deserve it, and that's why they don't make it. And that whole mindset keeps that. You got to keep up. You got to keep working. Otherwise, tough luck if you don't make it. And that's a mindset that I think is in a lot of life in general, but it's something that you see a lot if you're any sort of independent musician type or artist type or any sort of freelancer. That toxic mentality. My mate, Chris Taverner. If you guys know him, if anybody knows Chris Taverner, if you don't know Chris Taverner, go check out his latest single, because it really relates to mine quite well, I think, in terms of this. Because it's not his latest single. His single before his latest single. His latest single is a different single, but he just put out a single not that long ago, called "How to Win at Life," and it's about those marketing experty types who try and sell you the dream. And it's great. It's a great single, and it sums it up really well. If you just follow these 50 rules and graft hard, you'll make it in life. Yeah. Right. The camera is flashing at me that its battery is going. I need a wee. I'm sure other people may well need a wee or a beverage refreshment. We've only got the last bit of the song to go, and then we'll just have a little chat about stuff, and then we'll sign off for the night. So I'm going to go on a quick break, and I'm going to stick the camera on charge while I break and see if we can eke out a little bit more of the good quality footage. But I'm just going to go on a quick loo break. So I shall pop some music on for you guys and do that. Let me just read through the messages that I've missed. Such an unhelpful narrative that successful musicians need to do 3,000 shows a year or whatever, and that almost proves they're dedicated. Yeah. And it's like, it's true on one hand, like, you've got to if you want to achieve something, you do have to work at it. And there's nothing wrong with working hard at things that you love, but there is this sort of mindset of, that the same people who will tell you in one breath, you got to look after yourself, you shouldn't work yourself too hard, will then talk loads about how people deserve it because they've worked so hard. Like, one of my most hated things is hearing people say stuff like they deserve it because they worked so hard. It's like, they deserved it because they were good and they got the opportunity and they made the most of the opportunity. Yeah, but let's stop with this whole idea that they deserved it because they worked really hard and that's how you earn things. Because it's like, no, that's not why human beings were put on this earth. I mean, we weren't really put. We're just existing here. We just exist, right? There is no value to our existence really, other than it just is there. And we don't add value to our existence by working hard. Like, human beings exist. We have a right to exist. We have a right to live, and we should be able to live comfortably and happily without having to prove we deserve it. Running out of characters for these comments. Also, love the talk coping mechanisms. Thank you. Right, I'm gonna pop you on with some music, guys, and hop off on that break and see if we can charge up this camera a little bit for 5 minutes. So it'll be about a 5-minute break, about 5 to 8 minute break, and then we'll hop back on. But I shall pop some music on for you so you're not lonely while I am gone. I shall pop on the new song. Yeah.
This morning, flapped the wrong side of bed. Now the stars in my eyes and a bump on my head. And I'm still yawning, but it's full speed ahead. 'Cause something about how you can sleep when you're dead. I know I'm half asleep, but there's somewhere else I need to be. Honestly, it's not that deep, just the future's right in front of me. So reach out or bow out, don't slow down, you'll miss out. Don't that make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout, let it all out, blow the cobwebs away, make a big scene, be a drama queen, as if you've seen what the neighbors might say. Hold your head up high, let me see you cry, you got nothing to hide, oh baby, 'cause it doesn't matter. Something small can really spoil your mood, so you self-medicate, swapping feelings for food. It might seem dumb, but if you're telling the truth, it's probably something dating back to your youth. But it's really not that deep. You probably just need some sleep. There's someone else you're meant to be. You just need a little self-belief. So shut up and buck up. Can't keep up, that's bad luck. Down there, make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout. Lay it all out, throw the cobwebs away. Make a big scene, be a drama queen. As if you've seen what the neighbors might say. Hold your head up high, let me see you cry. You got nothing to hide, oh baby. 'Cause it doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. You wish it didn't matter. It shouldn't really matter. 'Cause no one thinks it matters. It doesn't really matter. It shouldn't really matter. 'Cause all that really matters is what we decide matters. So what do you think matters? 'Cause all that really matters is what we agree matters. And don't make you wanna run, kick, scream and shout. Lay it all out, throw the covers away. Make a big scene, be a drama queen. As if you've seen what the neighbors might say. Hold your head up high, let me see you cry. You got nothing to hide, oh baby. 'Cause it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Nothing really matters. All that really matters is what we decide matters. I'm not much of a talker. I can't seem to get the words out. It's like they get stuck somewhere between my brain and my mouth. I'm not very popular, instantly forgettable was always more my style. It's okay, just shut up and force a smile. But I come alive on the stage lights, and I live for big nights. And I'm at my best with a guitar and a mic, and I don't speak in real life, but God, do I do nightlife? I don't know why, but I come alive. Please don't ask me to socialize. I'm not much of a social butterfly, but I fly so high up here. People say I got a quiet voice. I'm shouting, but I'm never heard. From up here, you hear every goddamn word. But I come alive on the stage lights, and I live for big nights. And I'm at my best with a guitar and a mic, and I don't speak in real life. But God, do I do nightlife? I don't know why, but I come alive. So don't say you know me if you never come to see me. You come
Da 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 da. Okay, we're back in the room. But let me just switch off the music in my headphones. There we go. Okay, we're back, everybody. We'll see how long the camera lasts for us. It's been charged up a little bit, so hopefully that might give it just enough to finish the stream. But I might have to switch to the webcam for the final bits of the stream. We'll see. But it'd be nice if I at least get the rest of the chat about the song with the nice camera, because then the footage that I clip for things like TikTok and stuff will be nice quality. We do like that. And I'm actually going to clip footage this time. I will remember to do that this time. Yeah. Are we getting a lot of lag? And like, I feel like based on what I'm seeing, it's a bit laggy in it. If it is, do let me know. I'm just gonna see if I can quickly try and fix that if it is. Because it does look a little bit laggy to me. Howdy, Esh House Audio. Is this... I'm assuming this is Imogen. I bet this is Imogen. Howdy screams to me Imogen. Plus, it's the Esh House socials, and James is never on the Esh House socials. It's always Imogen. Hey, Marina! Slow movement, but audio is good. Yeah. The video is a bit... It's probably because it's better quality video, and I haven't bothered to actually test this out and do it right. And I might be getting... Ooh, I'm getting lag or even on the OBS thingy. I'm going to have to work out what exactly causes that some other time, because I don't want to waste the rest of the stream doing that, but I will have a play around with this new setup. How can you tell? Because I know you guys well now. Right, we're on to the last section of the song, the bridge / middle 8 / is it a middle 8 if it's more than 8 bars? Probably not, is it? The bridge section of the song. That third verse, what you got to write, that's got to be different from the first 2 verses if you want to follow the classic pop song structure that everybody always either just hates or loves. I always quite often find I write a bridge pretty quickly. I'm pretty good at writing a bridge. Terrible at writing a second verse. Great at writing a bridge. Or you just swap it out for a guitar solo or something, you know? Or in my case, I like to write a bridge and then put a guitar solo over the top of it. Anyway, but the bridge of this song is actually pretty simple in terms of lyrics. Obviously, you guys have heard it. You know that it's pretty repetitive, and it basically goes, it doesn't really matter, you wish. It doesn't really matter, you wish it didn't matter. It shouldn't really matter, 'cause no one thinks it matters. It doesn't really matter, it shouldn't really matter, 'cause all that really matters is what we decide matters. So what do you think matters? And it's basically that repeated matters, matter. And it's partially written like that because I wanted that repetitiveness there. And I knew that when I wrote that bridge part that I was going to stick all the harmonies on it and have it be this big section of the song like that. I'm looking at the wrong thing again. The camera is over here now. We're going to get used to that eventually. But yeah, I knew that the song was going to have that big section there. So obviously I've written the lyrics to follow that pattern so that that big section will work well. But I also very specifically put the first words that are in it in a certain order. So it goes, it doesn't really matter, you wish it didn't matter, it shouldn't really matter, 'cause no one thinks it matters. I feel like we've covered already a lot of what through what the other bits of the song are referencing. The general themes, that it doesn't really matter, you wish it didn't matter, it shouldn't really matter, 'cause no one thinks it matters, is referencing back to that thing I'm talking about again. If you run out of lyrics, just hum the last verse. That also works, yeah. Or whistle it. Or go but yeah, what was I saying? Damn my brain! It gets distracted and it's gone and we have to reboot. Where were we? We were saying that they're in that order because it's referencing back to that idea again of things that they don't really matter, or they actually do matter, but we wish they didn't matter because, you know, they're really annoying and they shouldn't matter. They really shouldn't matter, 'cause nobody thinks these things matter, right? We all agree that these things don't matter, and yet they do matter. And we all wish they didn't matter. So they shouldn't matter because no one thinks they matter. And then that follows on in the next verse with, it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't really matter. Because all that really matters is what we decide matters. And that's, that for me was about both in your own life, like the things that matter in your life are things that you get to decide matter. You get to pick if you're going to worry about something or not. To an extent, we don't all get to make all the decisions about what matters in our life all the time. There are things that are beyond our control sometimes, but for the most part, we get to decide what matters to us and what's important in our lives. So nothing else. If you don't want it to matter, it doesn't have to matter. But also, that was sort of talking about, it doesn't really matter, it shouldn't really matter, because all that really matters is what we decide matters. So what we, as a group, as a society, as a community, what people decide matters is what matters, which is why then the next section goes, it doesn't really matter, it shouldn't really matter. No, that's not how it goes. The next section then goes, so what do you think matters? Because all that really matters is what we agree matters. Sort of talking to me and talking to the audience again, as I like to do all through this song. Asking people, what do you think matters? Like, what do you actually think matters? What do you actually wish mattered in the world? Because all that actually really matters is the things that we agree matters. And agree was the word I picked there for a specific reason, because it's not just about us as individual people deciding what matters. You can decide that something matters to you. I can decide that what really matters in the world is good camera quality. But if the rest of the world doesn't care about good camera quality, it doesn't matter, does it? You can take it for silly things like that, but more serious stuff, things like, we talk a lot about how somebody's gender or sexuality doesn't matter. But the truth is, so long as there are people out there who are still making decisions about other people's lives based on their gender, based on their sexuality, it does matter. It shouldn't, and we can all say it shouldn't. We can all decide for ourselves it shouldn't. But until we agree as a group that something doesn't, and we actually start structuring the world like that, those things continue to matter and they continue to affect people's lives. So I picked the word agree there for that reason, because I wanted to try and get across that idea in this last section of, it doesn't really matter, it shouldn't really matter, you wish it didn't matter, so no one thinks it matters. It shouldn't really matter, because all that really matters is what we decide matters. So you get to decide what matters in your life, but at the same time, what do you think matters? Because all that really matters is what we agree matters, and we can basically change what matters, not just to us, but we can agree as a group to change what matters. And we've done it throughout history. Things that used to affect people's lives, things that used to be made a big deal of, things that used to be illegal or that used to be legal and that now are illegal. We've made lots of changes throughout our lives, throughout history, based on what we as a group, as a community, have decided really matters to us. That's the bit that is again one of the biggest themes of the song for me, is just that frustration when you're talking to people and you're trying to remind them of this, that the things that really matter in the world are the things that we as a group, as a collective, decide matter. So the truth is, it isn't just it is what it is, it could be different. Doesn't that make you want to run, kick, scream and shout? And that's why it then goes back into that last chorus like that, because it does make me want to just scream sometimes, looking at the world and seeing all the things that don't matter, that wind up running people's lives, and getting frustrated about that, and also looking at all the things that don't matter in my life but that I keep living my life like they do, and that ruin things. It does just make you... It's a song all about frustration and anger and trying to tell yourself to channel that into a better place, but also just sort of a song to scream to, as I said in that TikTok where I summed it up. Yeah. So then it just does that final chorus, and then we have the lovely little outro bit of how does it go again? 'Cause it doesn't matter, 'cause it doesn't matter. Nothing really matters, and all that really matters is what we decide matters. So just repeating that bit again, because that's the main sort of point of the song, both for me, is that all that really matters in your life is what you decide matters, and all that really matters to us as a world, as a society, as a community, as people, is what we decide matters, what we agree to make matters. Yeah. Anyway, that is it doesn't matter. That is what I wrote the song about. That is what the different lyrics, why I made the decisions about the different lyrics that I did, and what I wanted them to mean. Obviously, that song is now out there in the world, and you guys get to now interpret those lyrics in ways that you relate to your own life as well. I like doing these little videos where I talk about the meaning behind the lyrics for me and why I picked certain things, because lyrics are such an important part of the songs for me. It's a big part of my songwriting process. And obviously I do like to write songs about the stuff that's just going on in my head. So it makes sense to come on and ramble about it a little bit. But I like to talk to people about what my intention was. But I would love to also know if there was anything that you guys got out of the song that I haven't mentioned here that was in it for you, that you've wound up reading into it, or that you've related to in a certain way, that you've related back to your own life in a way that I didn't maybe necessarily intend with the lyrics, but that obviously people then, words wind up meaning things to people based on how they've experienced their own lives. So I'd love to know if you guys had any little fun things about the lyrics in the song, little bits about the song that you related to in a specific way, or that you got from a certain lyric. So do let me know if you did, because I would love to know what you guys thought and what you were feeling when you listened to it, other than just the pure rage that is this song. And enjoying that amazing guitar part that I did not play. Anyway, but yeah, let me know. Feel free to drop in the chat any thoughts or feelings that you had about the song. The camera may well die on us while we do this last little section, so just pre-warning, if the camera does die, there might be a bit of a kerfuffle while I have to switch over to the webcam again. But maybe it'll make it to the end. We'll see. Yeah, I'm just checking through my notes, making sure I haven't missed anything. I think it's all in there. It's looking like it's all in there. Oh, the camera died. One sec. I just have to get rid of this. And then, there we go. Webcam! Hello, guys. You're back on the webcam again. Hey, it did pretty well, didn't it? It managed. That was about an hour and a half on not a full charge. So if I fully charged it, it should be able to do about an hour and a half, the camera. If we're going to do this on the regular, I think it's safe to say I need to invest in another camera battery. I could just invest in another camera with the same battery. That would be stupid. But I may have to invest in another camera and another battery pack for the camera if we're going to do streams like this from now on. Because you never know. I never know how long these streams are going to be. They're going to be however long I can ramble for. And it varies depending on who shows up. I'll keep looking back at the camera now because I've gotten used to the fact that I should look over there. And I'm looking at the wrong camera. Anyway. This has been a good stream, I think. This has been a fun stream for me. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it and have enjoyed hearing the behind the song, the behind the lyrics, the reasons I had for writing the song the way I did. it seems to me from the activity in the chat that this has been a pretty successful stream and that people liked this. So if you did, do let me know if you enjoyed the stream and you would for me to do this with the next few. Because if this is a good format and we like doing the behind the song stuff like this, I shall do this for every single one of the songs. One of the singles, and I might even do it for a few of the songs off the album. We probably won't do it for all of the songs off the album, just 'cause as I've said many times, this album is about my own struggles and my own journey with my mental health. So there are a couple of songs that I've said, I would never make singles because I don't want to do marketing stuff around them. And for that reason, I might not also feel necessarily. They would be pretty depressing streams, I'm not going to lie. If I had to sit and talk about the meaning behind the lyrics for a couple of songs off the album, it would be like, this is getting dark, Emma, can we move on, please? So I want to put those songs out there in the world because I think they're good songs, and I don't think they're like too dark or too angsty or like inappropriate anyway. But I think that like trying to dissect them and or trying to market them would make me feel a bit 'cause they are quite dark and personal, and they're not so fun. But we'll definitely do it for all of the singles, and I'll probably do it for a couple of the other songs off the album, because there are a couple of songs that are going on the album that are going to be album tracks. They're not really right to be singles, but I think they deserve a little bit of a push and a little bit of a chat about, because they're ones that I love quite a bit. Too Loud we'll definitely do it with. I can't wait for you guys to hear Too Loud, because that's sounding, I'm really happy with how that's sounding. I have to be careful now not to accidentally start revealing too much about the album and tell you what all the tracks are called. I've done so well so far. Anyway, but yeah, so that's the single, guys. Enjoyed very much. Yay! I'm glad you enjoyed it, Ray. Yeah. So I think that we have reached the natural conclusion for the stream then. If there is nothing anybody else wants to chat about the song, no one has any questions any burning questions they wanted answered about the writing process, then we are probably at the end of the stream for the night. But I hope that maybe this stream that this stream has maybe added to your enjoyment of the song, now that you get to hear some of my thoughts behind it. I always like hearing people's thoughts behind songs that they've written and what was actually intended, because sometimes you can't tell from a lyric alone. I feel like you can tell from a lot of the lyrics in my songs. Like, I've not referenced anything too personal in there that would be difficult to decipher, but see you again soon. Thank you, Daniel. Have a good night. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But yeah, I like hearing about that. And I think it adds to my enjoyment of songs sometimes when I know more about them. But yeah, so I'm glad that you guys seem to have enjoyed this stream. We shall be having loads more content like this. I've got lots more It Doesn't Matter content planned. So much. So much. I'm going to bombard you with it. We'll be having a YouTube video next week relating to It Doesn't Matter as well in some way. I don't know which one specifically it's going to be yet. We'll see, depending on what I get done over the weekend. I would love to have chords to some of you. Yes, I will do that, Ray. I'm so disorganized. I'm so sorry. I will do that. Yes, I will get that sorted for you. But yeah, we'll have a video up next week, and then the following week, our stream will be returning to normal stream stuff. We'll go back to either just a sit and play and chat stream or a songwriting stream. I'll let you guys decide which one you want, whether you want us to go to sit and play and chat for the next one or songwriting. Let me know, and we'll do that. But yeah, lots more content on the way. There is a demos versus final version video that's going to go up, and there's going to be an extended cut of that because there was a lot to say about that. So there's quite a long version of that video. It's going to be extended cut for my Buy Me a Coffee people. So just a quick reminder that I do have a Buy Me a Coffee. It should be linked in the the description. You can always send just little one-off donations on there if you want. And if you join my membership, there is content on the way. Yes, I remember you mentioning, Ray. I will. I'll get that sorted for you. Yeah, there is lots of content on the way on the Buy Me a Coffee in the form of an extended version of that video. There's going to be a special version of the music video on its way. There's going to be some exclusive content related to some of the other bits and pieces that I am prepping for the album. And I've got some fun little behind the scenes things that I keep meaning to post and I haven't gotten around to scheduling. And I'm going to spend, it's one of my to-do lists for the weekend, is I'm just going to schedule a bunch of little behind the scenes content for my Buy Me a Coffee people. And I also will be putting up a behind the scenes / outtakes video from the music video. And there'll be a version for everybody to see just on my either. Will I put it on this channel or will I put it on my other channel? I might put it on my other channel. No, I'll put an outtakes thing on this channel. And there'll probably be another behind the scenes video. Because of the waistcoat I made, there's going to be some content around that on my other channel, and there'll be extended versions and extra content from that for the Buy Me a Coffee people as well. I just feel like I want to tell you guys that I do have stuff planned for you Buy Me a Coffee people, and it's going to be coming up in the next few weeks, and I'm going to be really working on that over the weekend. So look forward to that, and if you would like to check that out and you haven't done so yet, you can just do a month. And you get access to all of the content that has been put up so far if you just do a month. And you can cancel at any time. Yeah. Anyway, and I'm going to be putting a goal on my Buy Me a Coffee at last. I'm going to put a goal because I've actually worked out a rough goal. So there's going to be a goal popping up on there soon that I will tell you guys about. I need to plug this more. I'm trying to remember to actually mention it, because I know if I don't mention the Buy Me a Coffee, people don't know it exists, or they don't remember it exists. So I must actually mention it to you guys more often. But yeah, that's all on its way. And in the meantime, I shall wish you guys a good night. And I shall see you next week with a video, and the week after with normal streams, which might be on a Tuesday. I'll figure that out before, but we may be shifting to a Tuesday for the next stream because obviously at the end of April I won't be at my part-time job anymore, so we will be going back to Tuesday streams. So that will probably be for the next one. But yeah, I shall love you and leave you for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm so glad you guys enjoyed tonight's stream and that you've been loving the song so much. And I shall see you again very soon.